What's up guys, it's Sophie. I'm back again, back at it again with another rant video. In today's video, I'm just gonna be talking about why I don't eat animal anymore. I cut out meat completely as of June 2019 and I've been going strong ever since. I've slipped up one time and it was at work. I ate potato soup that apparently has bacon bits in it, but it did not have bacon bits in it. I promise. I looked through it and I didn't see bacon, so I ate it. But yeah, that's my one slip up if you want to count that. So pretty much going strong since June. Yeah, anyway, let's get to it. I've always been weird about eating meat. I've always loved animals, so I've always thought that eating a living being was kind of bad, even though I loved eating chicken, obviously in the back of my mind. I always kind of felt bad about it. Yeah, it would always gross me out, kind of, just seeing flesh on a bone and eating it. But recently, in the past year, since I've become much more spiritual and have been learning new things and opening my mind up, it's kind of just become evident to me that I don't want to consume any meat in any way. The number one reason for me would have to be that I just don't want to put dead energy into my body. The food industry in America is so messed up. The way they treat animals, I mean, everyone's seen the animal cruelty videos. Ruka is barking so loud and she won't stop.
Guest starring Ruka's Barks.
But yeah, just putting the energy that those animals have when they're locked up in those crates, when they die, that energy's still in their body. So when you eat it, you're just putting all of that sad, tortured energy into your body, and that makes an effect on your physical well-being, your mental well-being. I don't know. That's number one, the main reason for me, is that the whole concept of putting the meat of an animal that was completely tortured its whole life into your body, that has to be kind of harmful for your body. And I mean, I don't know, that's not going to convince someone to stop eating meat, but for me personally, I'm a huge empath, very huge empath. And energies affect me differently than they affect most people, and I just, after stopping eating meat and seeing the difference that it's made on my well-being, it's evident that I don't want to go back to putting that into my body. Another big reason that I stopped was because I watched this documentary. It's on Netflix. It's called What the Health. It will open your eyes to so much that you weren't aware of in the food industry and really make you consider thinking twice about the shit you put in your body. The biggest thing that I was unaware of that they said in this movie was that, you know, the food pyramids that you learn about in school, I learned about in school for sure, and the got milk posters and all that stuff, it's those dairy companies pay the government to sponsor them and say that it's the most, what you should put in your body. That pyramid literally tells you what you're supposed to take into your body. It's what is healthy. It's telling you what's healthy, and it's completely inaccurate. Completely false. Literally just put there because it's paid for. I mean, that's pretty much how everything in our country is. But it's just crazy that they teach little kids that you're supposed to have this amount of meat, this amount of dairy, when neither of those are beneficial for your body. In fact, they cause issues. Yeah, in that documentary, he went to interview the companies that paid that money to have dairy being sponsored and all that stuff, and they would not even interview him because they knew that they were wrong. They knew that he was about to call them out on their BS, and they didn't want that. They didn't want to be exposed. Red meat is one of the number one causes of diabetes, which runs in my family, so I'm cool on that. Yeah, everyone thinks that sugar is the leading cause of diabetes, and you should watch your sugar intake, your sweets and stuff, but meat really is what you should stay away from. In that movie, they talk way more about, way more detailed about that stuff, but there's, the American Diabetic Society, or whatever it's called, their website has, meals that you should make, healthy meals that are good for you, and in almost every single meal, they had meat, even though meat is the leading cause of diabetes. Does that make any sense whatsoever? No, it doesn't. It makes none. But the guy in the movie dug deeper and found out that these meat company brands were the sponsors of the Diabetic Society. So what are they going to do? They're going to tell you to eat meat so that you get sick. They want you to get sick, apparently. Not only is it a big cause of diabetes, but cancer. Processed meats that most of us eat or ate, like McDonald's, Wendy's, all these fast food places, and the meat that you buy, frozen meat and stuff. Meat, unless you're making it yourself, unless you're slaughtering these animals yourself, the meat that you're eating probably has some sort of processed chemical in it that is cancer causing. And this stuff is all proven by doctors. Like, it's not out in the news because they try as hard as they possibly can, all these brands and the government, to keep it out of the norm. They want you to think that vegetarians and vegans are crazy and that we just don't want to hurt the animals. Like, that's not the only reason that people don't eat meat. It's because it's horrible for your body, honestly. And a lot of people say, like, you have to eat meat because you have to get protein. Meat is not the only source of protein. I get protein from tofu, chickpeas, nuts. There's so many different things that have protein in it. And I take B12 vitamins every day because B12 is, like, one of the most important things that's in meat that your body needs. You can take a pill, a vitamin, that is the same thing. I eat just probably more healthy protein than I ate when I ate meat. Because the meat that I did eat, I wasn't making baked chicken and I wasn't making stuff that was probably on the healthier side of meat. I was eating B-dubs and I was eating like freaking nasty, not good stuff. Once you feel the difference in your body, and not even just your body and your brain from not eating meat, it will convince you to keep going. So like at the beginning of this summer, or right before I made the switch, I was having the worst anxiety I've ever had in my life. I've always been prone to anxiety, like I've always had the issues, but for some reason it was just really bad. And then as soon as I stopped eating meat, over time I noticed that those intrusive thoughts that I was having, or the constant like mind racing, it just started to go away a little bit. Like, I still obviously deal with it. It wasn't a daily constant thing, and I just feel like the only difference that I made was my diet. So I feel like that has something to do with it. And not only did my anxiety go away, but I started to have way more energy and ambition to do things. Like, I've never been a morning person ever in my life, and once I stopped eating meat, I started waking up at 7:30 in the morning and wanting to like do more than just lay around. You feel like a big ball of energy or something. That's what I felt like, at least. And I've also noticed that since I stopped eating meat, I've maintained a really healthy body weight. I've never really struggled with being overweight or anything. In fact, I was probably underweight. Since I stopped eating meat, I've noticed that I've like almost filled out a little bit. I know it's known to like stop eating meat so that you can lose weight, but I feel like I just became healthy. I didn't become underweight or overweight. I just became like what you're supposed to be, what you should be to feel right. A lot of people say that they don't eat meat, or that the reasons that they don't eat meat is because of climate change, because cattle farms and meat production is like one of the leading causes of deforestation. So they believe that not eating meat will help that. And I'm one of the people that doesn't really fall under that category. I understand completely why that's a reason, and I'm here for it for sure. Personally, I don't think that if you don't eat meat, you're going to make a difference in people producing meat. Unfortunately, like, as much as I would love to think that that helps, unless every single person in the world stops eating meat, it's just not really realistic. But I mean, I understand why doing that could consciously make you feel better about it, which is cool. No, I'm not against it. I'm totally for it, but I just don't think that that's like a convincing factor to tell people to stop eating meat. So those are pretty much the reasons why I chose to not eat meat and like how it's kind of affected me. Now I'll talk a little bit about like the process of me switching and like how that was for me. When I first started, it was pretty difficult because I went from pretty much eating meat like every day, honestly, like in some way, to just going cold turkey cutting out. We literally would make bacon every morning, and like I would get wings at work all the time, and then just switched up right away. And I wasn't really a person that ate vegetables all the time. Like, I've always been a picky eater, and then just deciding cold turkey to cut out meat and be a vegetarian, it was kind of a big shift for me, and I wanted to do it so bad that I kept doing it. But being the picky eater and the person that didn't want to try new things, tell me how that makes sense. I don't freaking know. I would find myself just like skipping meals instead of looking for things that I like, and that's kind of how it was at the beginning. I wasn't very healthy. I was losing a lot of weight and not giving myself the nutrients that I needed, but It just took some time for me to find things that I like. Shout out to my boyfriend because he made me try things that I found to like. Basically pushed me to just stop being a baby and try new things. But yeah, it's really just about finding the foods that you like and sticking with those, because there's so many like plant-based products that are like mimic meat. Like one of the #1 things that I eat, I just ate it like 20 minutes ago, are chicken patties, Morningstar chicken patties. There's sausage patties that they make that are so good. There's literally like bacon strips. I mean, it's not meat, obviously. It's made with other products like soy or all this stuff. Yeah, once you find stuff like that, it's so much easier because you're not like limited to eating freaking celery and carrots. Like you have like things that you eat. It's not like you just eat grass. Like, and I remember after I found those, like taking the first bite, I was like, it feels so good to eat something that's like substance and not just carbs, because that's really what I was doing at first, is eating solely like pasta and bread. Don't do that. That's not the way to do it. Find your veggie foods that you like and go for it. I honestly really wish that I had more time to meal prep and to cook, because I could be making some good meals. I just am lazy, and school is taking over my life and work is taking over my life, and I ain't got time. I mean, I really do, but I'll get there. It'd be like that sometimes. It really is a long-term goal of mine to eventually be fully vegan, but in all honesty, realistically, right now in my life, I just don't think I'm ready for that jump, because cutting out meat was a lot for me, and I think I need to get fully like invested in like in the routine of cooking meals and stuff and trying new things, honestly, because I'm still pretty picky, honestly. Like I hate that. I wish I wasn't, but like I can't help how I am. My taste buds are just annoying. Not eating meat makes your taste buds decrease though, so pretty soon here I'll be able to eat anything and it won't matter. Yeah, I just want to eventually be vegan because I know how horrible the dairy industry is, and honestly how it is for your body. And seeing how not eating meat has affected me, I know that if I cut that stuff out, I would feel like 10 times better than I do just from that, and I want to experience what that's like. And also just like the spiritual aspect of it, just the type of person that I am. I just understand why people do it, and it makes me want to do it so much, but at the same time, I love cheese. I will get there, but I love me some cheese right now. So yeah, I'm still a newbie vegetarian. I have a lot of learning and like cooking skill to learn, I guess is what I'm trying to say. If you're anything like me and you agree with things I talked about here, definitely consider it, because I know it seems like it's the hardest thing ever because it tastes so good, and it really does. Like, I get it, but just try and see what it feels like, and do your research and listen to people that could explain it a lot better than I explained all the health reasons. And like when you drive by and you see them cows, you really want to eat them. You really want to eat that baby cow. Them little piggies. Want to eat them little chickens. Well guys, I think I've mentioned everything I wanted to talk about here, so thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.